right, is this thing on? So turns out actually telling people that you're going to go live and scheduling things in advance means people show up. It's amazing what you learn, right? I see there's folks in the chat. I want to talk to you guys when I get over there. One of the first things, though, I have to point out is that the neighbor's dog is barking and has been barking for the last hour, and I'm losing my mind. So if folks who are watching this can hear the dog barking, you're gonna see me leave the stream and like throw a shoe over the fence because seriously, I don't know what it is that people are doing. Seriously. Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna chit chat for a few minutes and see if people jump on. If you guys are in the chat and you are here, just start typing stuff like crazy and press the enter button a whole bunch, and we'll see if we can convince the YouTube to send out notifications on this or to have it bump up in people's feeds or whatever to see if we can get more people over there. So I don't even care if you go to the chat and type 1 and hit enter or just like over and over and over. Let's just see if we can get a buzz over there, and that would be super helpful. I wanted to try it as a strategy because now I'm a real YouTuber. And so we have strategies now. So stuff like crazy. Yep, just like that, Darren. That's perfect. Just over and over and over again. Let's see if we can like make the comments fly in there and then see if more people come over. So far, I see over in the chat, I see Carl. What is up? If you are still here, that is awesome. It's good to see you. Darren finally catches us live. And so far, Darren is the only one who's putting stuff like crazy in the chat box. I appreciate you, Darren. You're always helping. Our bookstore, that's him over there. Darren is posting his updates for his Project 21 journey. And so if you guys go over there and subscribe to his channel, maybe it will make him stay more on top of getting his updates posted. Personal finance minimalist. Hey man, or lady or whatever, I need you to tell me your name because it's so hard to like spit out. And I've got a question from personal finance minimalist. Like if you have a name like John or Lisa, that would be awesome. Let me know. Let's see. Who else is down there? David Barnes. I assume that David Barnes is from Canada. Hey, David, how's it going? More stuff like crazy. There's Sean popping in. Sean put up with me and was willing to do an interview. So I actually happened to interview Sean 2 or 3 days ago, just in time to have Amazon just kick everybody in the teeth. And so I wouldn't say that everything in that video will be out of date, but it's not exactly up to date anymore. And so we may have to go back after that and, just readdress some of those things in the future because seriously, Paul is like, yeah, Sean, how's it going? I mean, nobody's going to be seeing the update like today. Those policies don't go into effect for another week. So assumedly everything is just going to be fine for 1 more week. And then after that, it's when the carnage is going to happen. Hey, Stuart, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in. Like I said, everybody, if you are over there in the chat box, just type whatever you can and let's see if we can get people on here. Tell YouTube that we are here and what is going on. Anthony. All right. Anthony, personal finance minimalist. That's Anthony. So if you have questions, I will be addressing them to Anthony. If I'm looking over here, it's because my notes are over there. And the reason that I don't screen share them is because it seems like everybody who is using OBS right now is really struggling and having problems with low quality streams and with things shutting down. And so I just am going to do the stream and I'm not going to worry about sharing my screen because that is too complicated for me. There was a couple things I wanted to do before I wanted to go and get deeper into the chat. I've started to see reaction videos from people, some people who are in the chat right now. Carl Broadbent posted one, and that is in the description. WP Eagle did one. Doug Cunnington did a stream yesterday. And, it's just, these are getting a lot of views because obviously a lot of people are like, what? Like, what do I do? And so that's why I think these streams are really great because this is sort of a way to like crowdsource like what is going on and what the reactions are. And so we can like lean on each other a little bit because, things have been bumpy the last month. And then I think they're going to get bumpier for a while. Let's see. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Hey, Pat, thanks for jumping on, guys. It is great to see you. And basically what we're doing is sort of doing some chit chat before we really dive in. John Gillum, I was going to say, he sent me a quick email because he posted an article on his website, and the link again is in the description. But he actually created a Google Sheet so that you could add your current data in, and then you could use it to estimate how your earnings were going to change. So I don't know how it works exactly. Like, I'm a technical dummy, but it's a Google spreadsheet that has several tabs, and there's some instructions on page 1. And so if you're like, oh my God, Amazon is my baby, and I want to know how this is going to impact me, like specifically with numbers, go and check out it's authority website, income.com, and it's an Amazon affiliate earnings post. And so he talks a bit about what's going on, and then the link to the, you have to give him your email to get the Google Sheet, but I give my email out all the time to get that stuff, and that's cool with me. Matt Diggity posted on his Facebook page today, ROFL, which I'm assuming is rolling on the floor laughing. Who actually uses that anymore, by the way? He said he saw a 999% plus increase in his in traffic to an article, Best Affiliate Network. I mean, people are jumping and jiving right now, trying to figure out a way to prepare to deal with this. And so again, that article is in the description. Going over to the chat, Sean, and the reason that I'm going to read more of the comments is what I found is that YouTube has some glitch about the live chat. And so theoretically, when you finish this up, and people who watch the replay should see the live chat, but I've been seeing a lot of support questions about this. Some of the videos are going to the replay without the live chat, and I think the chat is so valuable. So I'm going to try to read more of the comments in the event that YouTube doesn't pull over the live chat for this stream to the video. Because again, I think that basically everybody who's in the chat knows at least as much as I do, if not more in most cases. And so this is a really valuable place to be and to hang out. Sean says, Phil, the domain that brings around $400 a month is definitely getting hit. My 2 main ones might make it, as the majority of their stuff is in the 4% niche. I don't think that are changing. You know, I think we still aren't necessarily sure how all of the percentages are going to change out. One of the things I've heard other people talk about is how vague some of the classifications are for where things are going to be. And so I don't know for sure that we can assume that maybe we don't have something in a niche that is not being impacted. I think we need to prepare that everything is going to hell in a handbasket right now with Amazon. Let's see. Chris says, yeah, the news is super painful. My affiliate site will be slammed. Glad I've got my ad-based site. Spent the last 24 hours trying to brainstorm how to pivot to other monetization streams. And that is one thing I was going to talk about today, because I think a lot of people are going to be jumping into digital products just because you sell one digital product for $100. If your alternative is going over to Amazon and selling 500 things and getting paid 75 cents each, it makes sense to try to sell one ebook. This is actually, I think, going to be great in some ways, because there's a lot of people with so much knowledge that aren't monetizing that knowledge, that we're going to see some really awesome products out there. People want to jump on it. But what I hate to see is this flood of folks that should not be posting courses and don't have the experience to be doing that. And it's going to be really hard for folks who are just jumping in to be able to discern the difference. And so that's why I think these live streams are really good. YouTube is really great because people can share their experience. Like, this person is awesome and here's why. And that brings me to a video that Leon Angus posted. He actually, and it's in the description. So you guys last week were like, go follow Leon, go follow Leon. And so I did, and he's awesome, right? And but he posted a video a couple days ago about the affiliate programs he thinks are the best and the ones that he tried out that were not so good. And so they were actually programs that he had done, not just, oh, I did some research and here's what I think. I think it's a really valuable video, and it's down in the description. And I also wanted to read to you a comment that that he wrote, because what I did is went and started watching all his videos, because that's what I do. People say, oh, this guy or gal is awesome, and then I immediately go and check out what they're doing. And so I wrote a post letting him know how I found him, and that everybody in this community would be like, this guy is awesome, you should go check it out. And he said, Amelia Gardner, ha ha ha, that is so awesome. You officially made a black guy blush, which cracks me up. And then he said, there's nothing more powerful than word of mouth. So it's great to hear that people are actually talking about me in a good way. I tend to go by a method of over delivering. So it's nice to know that they appreciate it. Make sure to thank them if you get the chance. Well, I did. Thank you, Leon, for responding to my comment. And thank you to everyone for recommending his channel, because you were right. He's totally up my alley, and I'm totally interested in following him. I think he knows a lot. And his name is Leon Angus. And he is, I think I posted the video that he did in the description down below. His channel is about, it's getting close to 2,000 folks, and he started it just after I did. And he has grown way more than I have. I think he had previous YouTube experience before, and but he is fairly good on camera, and he doesn't do a lot of editing. He just talks about his websites, and that's the kind of content that I like. And he's getting ready to launch a product here pretty soon. And so, you know, that's not for everybody, but you can't fault him, right? Everybody is doing their best to try to make it work. And if he has a really valuable product and he knows a lot of stuff, I mean, what's wrong with monetizing that? As long as you don't spend all your time selling, then, I mean, what's the harm in it? So Paul says, yep, looking into other affiliates like Walmart and Target. Unfortunately, the percentages for those are woefully awful. Hey, David, are you back? I'm still here, still talking. Can everybody see me? Everything looks fine. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here. Denise says, I say, thank you, Amazon. Great wake-up call to get more diversified. Amen. Seriously, this is a time, and we talk about it all the time, about needing to get diversified, but I mean, this is a good reminder to go out there and try to create multiple streams. Hey, Fix. All right, I finally caught you on a live stream. I've been wanting to chat with you about what is going on in your world, because you revealed your site when you got to 5. So guys, Fix, I don't know what his actual name is, but his YouTube handle is .fix, and he is doing regular updates like I do, and I think that he is growing and knows what he's doing. And he revealed his site in the last couple of weeks, which I think is a ballsy move, because you know that people are going to go and potentially critique it or troll it or copy it or whatever. And I just thought that you're very confident, and I think it's awesome. Stuart Cameron. All right. I'm going to have a hard time thinking of you as Stuart now, because I think of you in my head as .fix. And so it's going to be really hard to think, to actually translate it, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. Also, while you guys are watching this, please do me the favor of letting me know whether or not you think that sitting down works as well as standing up. I've had some comments where some people say, oh, I like the morning chat. It's more laid back. And, you know, watching you like punch the air, you know, is maybe too much for me. And so I just need to know what y'all think about it. Hey, Asim, what is the agenda for today's episode? Today is a chat. First of all, just chatting over coffee. I wanted to talk a bit about Amazon. We've talked a bit about that so far, and I was just sort of dropping some of the links to things that I've come across that, you know, in the last 24 hours, because everybody is rushing to create content about this, which I think is great. By the way, Dante, great to have you here. I don't know anything about you, and I would love to know more about you. So while you're over there, you know, folks, if you are new to these streams, I really like to hear what you guys are doing, what you ladies are doing. So if you can use the chat box to talk about what you're up to, that is awesome. Let's see. So I'm going back over to my notes, which are over there. I just mentioned that Carl did a video, WP Eagle did a video, Doug Huntington did a video. I think Miles Becker is on right now. We're competing right now with Miles. I think he's doing a video. Professor Ron over at 1 Hour Professor did a video. And so those are down in the description. And I will say that this corona pandemic thing has really inspired a lot of people to make the jump to live video on YouTube, which is great. It just has been a really great way to start connecting with people. And I think that people who have started doing this now, and I'd like to think that we're at the forefront of this for this community, but I think they're going to be continuing to do that going forward. So I guess that's one positive change from all of this. So we're talking about Amazon, and I wanted to say that I made a whole $6 since I added Amazon links to my website last week, which for me is frankly awesome, because the first time I applied for Amazon last year, I didn't make a single sale in 6 months and they closed my account. So, you say, oh, it's progress. And so I just gotten around to last week taking some of my highest traffic pages and adding Amazon links to it. And so I made, 54 cents the first day. And then a couple days later, I made $6. And for me, that's a win. But then, how is that actually going to play out when Amazon slashes everything down to nothing? I still feel like Amazon super affiliate, but not that that means anything anymore. One thing we're definitely seeing in the website investing, buying, selling side of things is people are rushing to list their sites for sale. And first of all, I think that's horrible because you're trying to dump your site on people without disclosing, what's going on. So trying to take advantage of people who don't know any better. Somebody who knows what's going on with Amazon is not going to pay the multiple that you're asking for. Now, people are going to be interested in those sites for the traffic, because if you have a site that's got 100,000 page views a month and monetized with Amazon right now, I think you're going to find somebody who's going to want your site. They're just not going to want it for the multiple if it's not monetized in any other way. So people who are jumping out there trying to just sell their site and, it's an Amazon site and you'll make lots of money. And I just think that's crap. You can see already the brokers, Empire Flippers put out a notice that they're reevaluating the multiples and the sale prices. And I think we're going to see that across the board. And I think that's right. I think it's the right thing to do. You see people posting their Amazon sites in Facebook groups and the rest still at a high multiple. And again, I think that they'll still be able to sell them, just not for the money that they want. And I think it's crap that if people are going out and trying to sell their sites for the last 6 months earnings without disclosing to the potential investor that things have changed, I would be pretty pissed, honestly, if I was an outside investor coming into this and I didn't know any better and ended up with a site like this. And I guess this is one of the cautions for folks that want to just jump in and say, oh, I'm going to buy a site without spending any time in the community or without getting any experience on their own and just really being sort of out of bounds on what's going on. I mean, this is one of those prime things where, man, could you imagine how hosed you would be if that were the case? I'm jumping over to the comments again before they get away from me. Denise got up this morning and made my Skillshare about page. Good on you, Denise. That is, I said this in my last live stream, but I think Skillshare is a great place to start for beginners who want to jump into online course creation to bringing some other money in on the side. And I'll say it over and over again because I really do believe in that. Let's see. Darren says he's checking out .fix's gaming site as well. I think you're onto something and I like the site and I think you've done a good job. That's awesome. I love folks when you guys are supportive. Dante is doing KDP. That is awesome. KDP is something that I'm also doing and potentially will try to move back into doing more of because, again, it's really nice to have checks coming in from multiple places. And maybe this is a time we'll see people jumping back into KDP because KDP seemed like it was a really hot thing for a while and people have gotten away from it because it's been so competitive. But if other streams are drying up and people can't find ways to make money, then we'll see people headed back to KDP. Asim says, congrats with affiliate earning, but Amazon has slashed commission rates now. Would you continue? I absolutely will, because I think that a couple pennies here and a couple pennies there multiplied times 1,000 will eventually get me to where I want to go. I heard Greg Jeffries last year describe making money online is like just putting out as many hooks in the water as possible. And so spending all your time putting out hooks, and you may not make anything from each hook, but the more hooks you put out there, the more likely it is that you will earn something. And that's why I think it's hard for people in the beginning to earn a living wage from the make money online stuff, because you have to spend time putting lots and lots of hooks out there. So I'm going to continue building new content for ad revenue. I'm going to continue putting links to affiliate products, not just for Amazon, but lots of places where it makes sense, and just slowly over time build up my masterpiece, my empire. People love to use empire, the word empire. I don't have an empire, but I'm going to continue to do this stuff because, frankly, maybe there will be less competition if people dump Amazon and go to Share a Sale or Commission Junction or the rest. The thing that Amazon still has is everybody knows about it. People are still going to be more likely, I think, to click on an Amazon link than they will to go to eBay or to Share a Sale or to these other folks or places that are not used to buying, because Amazon has their PayPal account and already has their credit cards. And so if all of y'all, if everybody else in the world wants to jump off of Amazon and go to eBay, that's cool. I don't recommend it, but I think I'm going to get the link for the people clicking for Amazon, and there's still money there. I'm cool. I'm cool with making a quarter here and there, because I'm going to do that 1,000 times, and then I will get to where I want to go. Denise says, let's see. David says, it's going to be hard to hit that 100 mark for us newbies to get paid. It definitely is. And it's just going to change how it is that we do things. Denise says, about me, 4 websites making full-time income via affiliate offers. Never used ads, but now we'll look into it and going to start teaching, sharing on Skillshare. I think that's great. And I think that's right up the alley that you need to go. I think we'll see a lot more people jumping onto YouTube thinking, okay, now this is a good time to build a YouTube channel, to try to monetize it with AdSense, but also to look forward in the future to taking that experience to selling, their own products. If you have a link in the description for your ebook that costs $3 or $4, I mean, you don't necessarily have to feel like scammy or spammy or whatever. Selling something that is high value at a good price doesn't mean that you have to jump right away into selling a product for $997 and doing webinars. And again, if we're looking at just trying to find other income streams, that can be a good way to get there. Stuart.fix says, I know people in real life that do quite well on those sites without even a website for traffic. Totally. Asim says 24 to 33x was a great multiple for Amazon sites. Not sure if that will go up or down now. I think we can basically say that's probably going to go down. Now you say, oh, well, we'll be looking at the multiple potentially being the same. We'll just base the multiple and the sale price upon the actual revenue. So you could say, oh, a site that was making $2,000 a month before, we would still apply the same multiple. But I think people are just going to be less likely overall to be interested in Amazon because of the confidence issues. I think there's going to be less demand for those sites in general. And I think also people smell blood in the water, so they're not going to be fired up about paying 33x for something that seems really unstable, because once you see a slash, it would make sense probably to see more turbulence coming in the future. And so I just don't see people being fired up to pay 33x for the new revenue. I think we're going to see it on the lower end just because people are going to be looking at investing in other things, which brings me to another topic I wanted to jump onto, was whether or not where people will be going, because website investors and people who are here online, we're going to be looking at other streams. And so I mentioned that I think people are going to start doing courses and selling their own products, but I also see people making the jump into SaaS. So creating their own Chrome extensions, creating their other technology or plugins and the rest, and trying to launch those, or they're going to want to be buying them. And you're definitely seeing traffic in some of the forums and the Facebook groups about people suddenly posting like, hey, is anybody selling a SaaS product, that's earning so much MRR each month, the monthly recurring revenue. So already the sniffing is going around. People are looking for other avenues, other ways, other investments to try to create that monthly revenue, because Amazon is no longer as secure as it was before. A lot of people felt really confident that Amazon was going to be around forever. It was never going to change, even though other big names like Matt Diggity totally craps on it. It's like, don't do Amazon. I mean, it's a place you can use and it's a good option, but we don't recommend it as number one. And he's totally been proven right, totally proven right. Carl says traffic should always be your first priority, and then sales will come anyway. And that is totally what happened to me. When you focus on affiliate offers first and then building traffic, it goes. Denise says, Stuart, you don't know me, but I know you. I use your affiliate links sometimes when I need to buy something on Amazon. Oh, that's cute. Darren says, what's KDP? That's Kindle Direct Publishing. So that's doing ebooks, and you can also do paperback books through, used to be CreateSpace, but now it's all wrapped up in Amazon. It's basically just writing your own books. Dragon Zarek says, hello, how huge number of blog posts affect website traffic? What is average number of words per blog post? This is going to be different for every site, honestly. I average around 1,500 words per post, but I have some posts that are only 1,000, and I have some posts that are 5,000, and the average is about 1,500. I think overall, assuming that you're doing keyword research and you are not, focusing on trending topics, I mean, you could say in general, the more posts you have that are high quality, you should see more traffic, but I can't say that is the case in every case because it depends on the niche. And so it's really hard to say 100%. You must have a site that has so many posts and they must have so many words and the rest because it is more complicated than that. Asim says, why are you not standing today? I'm not standing because somebody else said that they liked the other videos, the other style. And so I asked folks as they're watching this to comment whether or not they think standing or sitting makes a better video. Game Techit says, .fix here. Hey Fix, I just watched one of your videos. See, it's so great to have everybody here. Asim says, hey, our bookstore, that's Darren. You're really inspiring us with the stuff you are doing at your age, and don't stop your monthly updates, even if they are delayed. Thank you, Asim. I totally agree. Simon says, hey, Amelia, I came across your channel recommended by YouTube and had a bit of a binge. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. Thanks. I hope that you got some value out of those videos. It's really great to have everybody come on and to say positive things because I have imposter syndrome really bad and confidence is a major issue for me, and jumping on this stream is really good for me to grow, but I don't feel any different with 1,000 subscribers than I did at 200, and I feel like the content is about the same, but that's what we do. We do what we got to do. The content challenge. So right now the content challenge is over on Facebook, and we were doing the Excel spreadsheet before, and so the group in the content challenge is larger, but here's what I don't like about it. I don't like that you're really encouraged to go over there and spend a lot of time in the group because ultimately that's not really what I want to create, or a community of people like spending a lot of time in the group. I would rather people spend time here on YouTube and then use the content challenge, the accountability group, as a place to just go and like post your update and check on everybody else and get moving. So I don't know if the Facebook is where we're going to ultimately end up. Some people, we're getting more people over in the content challenge, like popping in during the middle of the month, which again, we've not normally done because usually people get in at the beginning of the month and then we go through together. The people who are over there who are posting, Emil is posting, Carl is posting, Patricia has posted, Jazzy has posted, posting updates. Phil hasn't been over there that much, but I take that to mean that Phil is working, and that's what I want more than anything. I haven't been in the group too much because I've been over here on YouTube a lot, and plus I just have the kids at home, and so it makes it harder to spend a lot of time in the group. Darren says his site is really taking off right now. I am more than doubling my traffic every 30 days. So Darren, your site, I think, is monetized with primarily Amazon. And so I'm wondering if you are going to be looking at like a haircut here for your Amazon earnings, or if you think that we're going to be headed forward. Let's see. Asim says, everyone hit that like button for Amelia hitting 1,000 subs. I feel like I should be patting myself on the back because I never thought I would get there. Oh, and people have, because you had mentioned wanting to get to 10,000, and then Darren says, I challenge you to 10,001. Well, Darren, I challenge you. We should do it together. That's the way it works the best. Chris says, yeah, I didn't join the Facebook group because Facebook is a black hole of time wasting and YouTube is too, but one black hole is enough. I think it might be worthwhile to consider, and I hate this word masterminding, but like doing, instead of a large content challenge group on Facebook or even on the Google spreadsheet, but doing like a month, not monthly, but like having a small group where we jump on Zoom like once a week we set aside an hour once a week. The thing is we'd have to keep that group really small, not more than 3 or 4 people that are super motivated, that want to keep going. And maybe we do a couple of these different groups just to keep the group small, and we could have like a person moderating them. And maybe this is just a place to connect people up for accountability, but I'm wondering if that would be more effective than Facebook, because I mean, it's cool to have a large Facebook group, but that's not really what I was going for. I'm mostly going for trying to find an effective way to keep me and my friends, who are all you folks, going and like actively working and feeling good and feeling supported, and not so much trying to like use it as a teaching place, even though Facebook groups can be really good for that. Let's see, Game Tech, it says, how many page views needed for Ezoic? And is there really a big difference from AdSense with regards to earnings? You know, if you'd asked me these questions a month ago, I would have better answers for you. They do sessions rather than page views. They want to see at least 10,000 sessions. So I have a site that has, you know, 3,500 sessions a month, but it has well over 10,000 page views because lots of people go there and they click on lots of things. But they can't get that site into Ezoic right now because it doesn't have enough sessions. For me, the ad revenue before the pandemic and all that stuff was significantly better with Ezoic. There's lots of reasons people may or may not do Ezoic, but for me, the AdSense revenue was significantly less than Ezoic, and that's why a lot of people are jumping over there and trying it out. Asim says, how about we do a 5-minute Zoom call for content challenge every week? Could give it a shot. You know, maybe we'll try something out in May. I want to finish out April and just kind of honor the goals that we all agreed to at the beginning of April before we jump off and do new things. You know, I'm not sure everybody would want to go on YouTube. I mean, I'm happy to go on YouTube and I'm happy to share and whatever, but there's some people who aren't that comfortable with being on camera or sharing their anything about themselves. And so it's kind of trying to find a balance. And maybe it just means that there are multiple groups. Like maybe that is the thing, is some people are happy on Facebook and some people are happy on YouTube and some people want to do a Zoom call. So Carl says, I'm 50,000 word published into my challenge this month and I'm still 10 art. You've published 50,000 words already in 2 weeks. That is absurd. Like, are you, obviously you're not going out. None of us are going out. So you must be at home just hammering it out on your keyboard. That is awesome, Carl. If I had a little button that would like play like clapping, I'd be like, get on you, man. I have been cruising through the videos portion of my content challenge for the month, but getting through the articles has been really hard. I've been off my keyboard and so my wrist doesn't feel as terrible as it did before. And one of the things I've been trying to do is I'm testing out Surfer this month. And so I am using the content editor and it has all these things that I need to try and do. And I'm finding that it actually sort of is making it hard for me to feel creative. And so what I may do is move drafting the article back off of Surfer and then copying and pasting it in to do the optimizing before I go and publish it to see if that helps, because I'm so distracted by, you know, trying to use this word so many times or not. And that's just really hard for me. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Ezoic PWA. And I know people are like, I'm not using the PWA. I don't have any plans to use it, but I started testing it and I just want to tell people where it's at because people can use it or not use it. So when I initially started it, I was pretty disappointed in the numbers. And then I went on last week just to update it and found that just testing over time that some of the numbers were increasing. And basically I'm looking at it against the mobile version of my ad tester, so how it's performing. So far, the engaged page views for per visit are almost the same now. They're 0.03 or 0.02 or 0.01 off, and are better than the average once you take into account the desktop and the tablet option. The page views for visit, and what I'm looking at right now when I'm looking over here is my big data analytics page. So the page views for per visit are still lower than the mobile version, but only by 0.05 or 0.03. The average visit duration, one of the options, one of the tests for the PWA is actually performing better than the mobile version. So it's showing that the average visit duration on that particular experiment is, let's see, doing the math, 13 seconds longer, though the other two are significantly shorter, about 20 seconds shorter. The average engaged time per visit, now this is where the PWA, and you start thinking about whether or not it's something that you want to experiment with. The average engaged time on page is increasing, so it is better than mobile overall. And for people who are thinking about monetizing with affiliate offers or ad revenue, what I take that to mean is that people who are on the page are actually actively scrolling and looking at things. So there just increases the likelihood that they may be actually paying attention versus having a page open and going and doing other things, which AdSense does not differentiate. So people are more engaged apparently on the PWA for that particular version of it versus the regular mobile site. Carl says, oh no, my children need feeding. I have to go. Nice to chat with you all. Take care. Keep up the good work, Carl. Love having you on the stream, and feed those kids. Now, it's so funny because I started talking about Ezoic, about the PWA, and like we lost so many people there, and that is okay because this is something that interests me. Simon says, can't be coincidental, as I also came across your channel as well as Hasta La Vista Boss, all great content. You know what? I have been having a lot of fun chatting with Adrian over at Hasta La Vista Boss, and I like him over there. But yeah, so I can start to see over time the metrics are definitely improving with that. The next thing I wanted to do was answer some questions. People have been posting questions in the comments of the live streams or on other videos. And so I just thought I would address them here. Asim says, gotta go, midnight here, keep up the great work. If you want to catch the other half of this later, that is cool with me. I get a lot of people lately wanting my URL, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be sharing it. I'm just not going to take the chance that people will take my URL and I don't care so much about the niche. Like lots of people can jump in on the niche, but I just don't want people copying stuff. So sorry, that's not going to happen. Big 5041 says, hey, Amelia, I'm just getting started with this. And this was on a comment on the Empire Flipper site. It said, any advice or tips on how I can get started? I need a mentor. I've been struggling for years trying to figure out what to do or invest in. I think for folks that are interested in website investing, ultimately, I think experience is the best thing that you can do or try to achieve in order to become good at website investing. I don't really recommend that people go out and just hire someone to do the due diligence for them, because ultimately those people aren't responsible for what can happen, and you're the one investing all the money. You're paying them for their expertise, but then at the end of the day, like, you're left with the bag, and either in the bag is a flaming pile of poop or it's something valuable, and they can go off and do whatever they want. They have to tell you it's a risk, but ultimately you're relying upon their experience and their expertise and what they know. And it's a lot easier for me to say, okay, I'm willing to risk X amount of money on this because this is what I believe, but it's super, like, it produces so much anxiety for me to go and rely upon someone else's expertise to do that. And so what I generally recommend, and not everybody agrees with this, but I think what people should do is start small and buy something small and try to build it up and build it into something you can flip and earn money from. And you learn basically so much of what you need to know during that process. I don't think people should run out and dump their money into a $500,000 purchase or $100,000 purchase. I think that experience and starting with a small site, you know, something that you're prepared to lose all your money on and prepared to destroy on, is the value, is where you learn what you want to invest in and what it is that you want to do. I just don't think that sitting on the sidelines is the way to do that. And that's just what I have been doing, right? Is just practicing by jumping in on things and trying things and breaking them and making mistakes. And that has absolutely 100% informed me for what I would want to do going forward. You can hire people, like you can hire consultants, you can hire website operators who can help you do that and can help you run it after the fact. But again, at the end of the day, when it is your money, like your money, your savings, your stuff, you know, being more involved in that process, I can't recommend that you go in on a site not knowing enough about what's going on. And if we can learn anything from what happened with the income store, I mean, this is exactly why it is that we need to do this. Checking over in the comments, we lost Asim because he went to bed, which is totally cool. David says, I'm a bit concerned that I niched down too much. I didn't think so at first, but I really thought the site would grow better. Any advice? 110 articles, getting 20 views per day. Let's see. And he says it's 9 months old. You know, what I would do probably is continue to push forward. There are several bumps that you may see in traffic, and sometimes even in the first 9 months. I think it's too early to tell. I would continue to put out content and just work on putting out as good of content as you can. I I would probably not make a decision about whether or not I'm too niche down or whether or not I have a success or failure until I get to about 24 months. Sites grow at different speeds and different paces. And I had a site that didn't do anything for the first 15, 16 months. And then around month 18, it shot up and I started earning from it. And I have another site that it started growing right away, like basically after the first few months. And so I would spend less time worrying about whether or not I have a success. And I would just spend that time worrying about my niche and all the rest by creating contents. Darren says, not sure if it has anything to do with niching down, but you should be getting more traffic than that by now. And it may have less to do with the niche and more to do with maybe the articles or the technique or all the rest. But as far as just only being 9 months old or having the niche or anything else, I'm not willing to jump on and say that is the problem just yet. David says, I agree. Stats are showing very small traffic increases and impressions. You know, I say anything positive is good. And I say that as long as things are going up, maybe if they're not going up as fast as you want, it's still good. Fix says, I keep lagging out, assigned to get back to work. Take care and nice to catch you all. Yep, I can't wait for you to go live, Stuart, because it would be fun to come over to your channel. Denise says, when you make your own sites, you'll see many sites for sale are not really that good. Absolutely. And I just really think that that is a great place for people to get started. I just don't think people should jump into website investing without having some operations experience, even if it's bad, right? You start a site and it gets hammered. I mean, you still learn stuff every time. Dante says, what's the best way to check for negative penalties or negative traffic to your site? Well, you can check in console to see if there are manual penalties there. You can check to see whether traffic is bouncing up and down. One thing I do is check specific pages in Google Analytics. So if I have a day where I see traffic is down really hard or I'm on a downward trend, I like to go to the individual pages and see whether or not it's a global site hammering or if it's just one page that was doing better before all of a sudden is getting outcompeted by someone else who is posting on it and just watching the sites go up and down. One of the things I saw in Ezoic, and I was going to point this out, it's on my list, and under the content tab, if you haven't checked it, you should. In the objectionable content area, I went there and looked at it and found that I had a handful of articles there that were actually being excluded by Ezoic for publishers because it contained some words that were apparently objectionable, even though the topic wasn't one that I would have thought violated any terms of service, and it wasn't something that AdSense had ever highlighted. And what I was able to do was to just go back and change those words into something that was less objectionable. And those pages are now showing ads and earning money. So if you are using Ezoic or you're looking at jumping over, that is one of the things that I noticed that I just wanted to throw it out there. If you're on the platform and I've never checked, you should go see if you have articles that aren't getting traffic because they have some word on them that Ezoic isn't going to show ads on. Let's see. Chris says, David, my guess is that your keyword research might be a little off and you're targeting keywords that are too competitive. And that's Darren's question too. And David says, yes, I'm only targeting low competition using alphabet soup. Most articles have very low or no search volume. Well, you know, sometimes I think the danger with the alphabet soup method is that truly the reason that those articles are low competition is because there just isn't actually that much search volume. I went and actually did, when I started the surfer thing, I started Googling the actual keyword that some of my articles that were targeting, and I could see that I ranked #1. I mean, and my content is way better than anything else that is there, but those articles just don't get that much traffic because I think ultimately there just aren't that many people who are searching for that specific keyword. And that's the thing about, you know, traffic estimation tools. Like, it's just an estimate. And if you're saying, oh, well, somebody must be searching for that because it's showing up in Google. I mean, that is true, but you don't necessarily know when that search was done and whether or not that search, whether that topic is still trending or people are still searching for it using those words. So I was disappointed. I was excited to say, you know, hey, rank #1, like I got the snippet, all the things, but I'm actually just not getting traffic from that. And I think what I can conclude from that is just that people aren't searching for it all that much. And that's why I don't get traffic from those keywords. Going back to my notes, Maroon says, I want to ask you something. I just started using Ezoic and my site has become very slow. Literally, the site went from 6 seconds to 16 seconds. Is that common? Do you face the same issue? It's been 2 weeks since Ezoic started testing my site. So the site speed with Ezoic has been one of the major complaints, and it is something that I have noticed. And you could say, oh, well, what is the solution to that? Some people are testing out the site speed accelerator, and some people, like Steven, who jumps on these occasionally, had a really good experience with it. I didn't like it, but other people are using it and liking it and getting behind it. I mean, that's something that you could do. Another thing that you could do is just enjoy the increased revenue until you can build up the site till it gets to a place where you can jump to Mediavine. Carl Broadbent made a great video about how he thought that the jump from Ezoic to Mediavine improved his site overall because Ezoic was slowing things down or was hurting the crawlability of the site. And so, you know, for some people, it may be I'm just going to sort of accept the slow situation if that is truly being caused by Ezoic. I don't right now have a good fix for it. I haven't found necessarily that plugins or anything else are really fixing the issue, and I can't say one way or another for sure whether or not Ezoic is the problem. It's not something I've tested too hard because mostly I'm focused on putting up new content. I'm playing the long game and just looking at moving the site forward. And right now, frankly, because ad rates are down so low, it's not a huge thing as far as like optimizing ads is not a high priority for me. Creating content so that I will be ready for the people who get out of quarantine in, you know, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12 months, will be ready to come back through my site and hit up those articles, which will have aged a bit and will hopefully be ready to rank. There's a discussion still about David's stuff and Project 24. Chris says, I wouldn't stress about site speed. My site speed definitely dropped with Ezoic. Mobile, always in the 40s now, but I'm confident that it has no effect on traffic. Darren says, using Alphabet Soup as well on art of my articles. It took me about 9 months to start getting traffic in a big way, but now in the 10th month. So David, I really think that maybe just sitting back and reserving judgment for a while is what I would recommend. I would just continue pushing hard because it sounds like you're doing good things. It could be that just in your niche that articles won't rank for a while. I mean, every niche is different, and I just don't think you can apply what's happening in the tech niche to the recipes niche. I think that it's going to be individualized because you have different competition. Shake, I am sorry if I'm butchering this name. It's spelled S-H-I-K. He left me a really nice comment. I'm just going to call him out. He made a really nice comment on the video I posted that I recorded last week about getting to 1,000 visitors, and he just said it was one of my best videos, and it makes me blush. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Asim, who is a troublemaker who was on the stream earlier, who jumped off, said, please do an interview with Spencer Haas. I am sure he will agree. Well, how do you know? Asim, maybe you can, when you watch this later, maybe you can help me make the introduction to Spencer, because I really hate doing cold outreach, and I've never found it to be that effective. I've tried it a couple of times with some other YouTubers who I haven't formed a relationship with, and they have basically not answered at all. Actually, none of them respond. They just ignore me because I'm sure they get thousands of requests a month like that, and it's totally not effective. David says, I will keep pushing forward. I think that is the only thing to be done right now for anybody. Anybody who's stuck in the Amazon hole, I just really think the only thing we can do is to be persistent and to try to grow and get better. Tech Sarma says, hey, you are Ezoic expert. I have 2 questions. I don't feel like an Ezoic expert. I've been using Ezoic since December, and there are lots of people out there who probably know more than me, like Ezoic. But his question is, after using Ezoic, do we delete the AdSense code from our site or use both? You can use both. You can delete it or not. What Ezoic does is they can help you, and I'm putting on my air quotes, wrap your AdSense ads so that those ads can be tested against the Ezoic ads. And I didn't do it myself, and I don't know how to do it. I had my Ezoic support rep person do it. And so if you want to do it, ask them for help, and they will do it for you. After using Ezoic or receiving AdSense payment from AdSense, you will receive AdSense payments from AdSense if you are still earning from clicks on those wrapped ads. So if you get clicks on the ads as they're in the rotation, and then AdSense, you reach the threshold to get a payout, then yes, you will. Sometimes with me, what I find that all of my revenue is coming from Ezoic, and then I see an AdSense ad get wrapped in, and then I make a little bit of money from my case study over in AdSense, and I just think it depends on what performs the best. And Ezoic purportedly is testing that. So if you're not getting any AdSense revenue, but you are making stuff on Ezoic, it just, I think, theoretically means that Ezoic is performing better. Darren says, I challenge you to 10,001 subscribers, and then wah ha 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 ha. Very funny. I know I called you out already, Darren, for that, but thanks so very much. But 10,000 is my goal. Seriously, it is my goal. Rena Kitchens says, the first 100 subscribers are not easy to get. It is not easy to get the big YouTubers. Yep. Rena has been working on YouTube for a while. She was doing, I think, cooking videos, and I followed her channel for a while in the past. And I totally appreciate that you came over here and left a comment. And you're right. I think the first initial couple hundred are super, super tough. Meltdown Island has also commented a whole bunch on the videos lately, and I just want to call him out. His name's David Gardner, and he is doing like a podcast with a couple of friends over there. And they have been working really hard, but have just been, I think, really struggling to capture and find their audience, like to find their people. So David, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Totally a shout out, to thank you for coming over and leaving comments on my videos, because it makes a difference. I'm hopping back over to the comments. Dante says, I'm sure you stated this previously, but what do you think are the best current backlink strategies? So I don't talk about backlinks a whole lot because I honestly don't think of myself as being much of authority on this, because I personally don't do a lot to build backlinks. Not that I think people shouldn't, and frankly, I think that I should. And so backlinking is going to be a major part of year 2 for my case study. And what I am doing to learn to do this is I have access to Matt Diggity's affiliate lab, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time in there going through his strategies, because I think he has a legit and purposeful strategy for building links instead of what I think a lot of people are doing, including myself, which is just running around trying to do one here and one there and everywhere. And he's got a strategy that is deliberate and balanced. And so I'm going to spend some time over there in year 2 on my case study. And if I feel like I have any actual results based on data, I'll come back and share them. But right now, as far as like what's the best thing to do, I don't know what the best thing is to do. People, talk about getting natural links, like just putting good content out there that people will link back to. And I absolutely believe in that. But that can be hard to get with affiliate content, because not a lot of people will necessarily be just linking back to affiliate content. They go to affiliate content to figure out what to buy. They don't necessarily think to go and share it on Facebook, because that doesn't necessarily have value for them, which is why I also think that having informational content on your site can be really valuable, because that may be something shareable that people would want to share. And then you hopefully, get the link juice to your domain as a whole, and then raise the profile of those articles. Chris says, responding to Dante, thank you, Chris, for sharing your expertise. Matt Diggity recommends for 2020, 40% guest posts, 30% niche edits, 10% citations, and 20% others, such as hard links. But the only one to be careful with is too many niche edits. All right, well, that's straight from the mouth. Well, secondhand from the mouth of Matt Diggity. So, folks, we have been on for 53 minutes, and I think I'm just going to scroll up to my notes to see what else I had wanted to talk about today. And I think we about covered it. Chris says, not my expertise, Matt's expertise. Exactly. And I don't mind sharing Matt's expertise and telling people to go and check out Matt, because he knows way more about this than I do. So, folks, I am going to jump off and I'm going to get to work. I have actually an interview this afternoon to do. Someone else is interviewing me, which is exciting because it's good practice for me. Oh, hey, I will say, and I don't know if Sean is still here. He might be gone, but I said this in the beginning. Sean submitted to an interview to the Spanish Inquisition a couple days ago, and I'm going to be working on pushing out that video in a couple of days. I really think that if you guys are watching this, to go and support Sean by watching that video when it comes out, because he doesn't do these very often, and the guy clearly knows his stuff. We talk a lot actually about his initial experience before jumping in white hat stuff. He did a lot of black hat stuff, and I probably could have talked to him for days about the black hat experience, just because I find it fascinating. I mean, nobody is doing it anymore. Nobody should be doing it anymore because it doesn't work that great. Google has gotten so good about spotting it, but it was just really fascinating, and I could talk to him for days about it. Denise says, regarding Skillshare, do you think sticking with one topic is preferred, or is 3 coaching topics okay? I think that you should publish as much as possible on any topic possible, because I think what you'll discover is that when you publish on something and lots of people like it, that they will follow you, and then you could create videos around that interest. I have found that some of my videos have done really well, and then some haven't. And so those people who are in there looking at that, if they follow you, then when you publish some other content on that topic, then they will see it and be more likely to follow you back and click on it. Oh, Doug Cunnington, we have celebrities. Anytime we see celebrities, I would be like, ah. I don't know if Doug is still here, but I saw that you went and did a live stream yesterday, sort of spur of the moment, and I saw that lots of people had clicked on it. It had like 1,200 views in a day, which was a big number for a live stream. And I had wondered, and I haven't had a chance to go through and listen to it, but I have to imagine that people are just freaking out about Amazon, especially in your group, Doug, because so many people are using Amazon, and I'm just really interested and curious to see what the pivots are for people as far as Amazon affiliates, and then people who are also teaching it. Just popping on, it was a good one. Yeah, they are. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what people do. Like the really persistent, active people are going to figure out a way to navigate this, and it will be fun to learn with people as they're going on, because those of us who are just getting started, it's a really great opportunity to learn and to grow with folks as they're going. Denise says, Doug, you've improved my life. Thanks. I like Doug's content. I like going over and hanging out on his channel, and he's definitely supported me and let me come on his channel. And I'm sure that I've gotten subscribers from Doug and his channel. And so I don't hesitate at all to say thank you so very much. Chris says, awesome. Keen to see Sean's interview, learning so much from him at the moment, right? He's after me about getting a rank tracker, and he's probably right. And he and John Davis are after me about things that I need to do that I have not done. And so Sean will probably influence me to make it happen. See you later, Doug. It was great. Thanks for hopping on. I have a feeling, is going to be putting out lots of content here in the future to deal with Amazon. At least I hope he will. And that could be a good place to try to get some strategies to figure out what to do next, because I think basically his whole business is around Amazon affiliate. So we'll just have to see the pivots there. Denise, yeah, everybody's saying bye to Doug. We say bye, Doug. Thanks for jumping on. It's kind of like WP Eagle, Alex jumping on the other day, which I did, by the way, send him a quick email, and I haven't heard back. So I don't know when, if ever, there will be a collab there, but I did reach out to him. And so if you're watching this, Alex, I emailed you, and now the ball is in your court, man. Hopefully you email me back, and then we'll figure out something fun to do. Denise, before we jump off, you'll have to let me know if I answered your question, or if you have any other comments or thoughts about Skillshare. Like I said, I think that you can't be hurt by putting out as much content as possible. Just remember, they only let you upload once a week. So you kind of have to plan your content. You say, okay, I just can't blast out, 25 courses in one day. You want to be focusing on the things that you think will be the best content, and also, calculated to bring the most people back to your page. So any other questions there, I'm happy to talk about Skillshare. They have like a 50, they have a teacher referral plan that I haven't done much with. It's 50 for 50. So if I refer a teacher who's not already involved in this, and that teacher then goes and uploads a course and gets at least 10 premiums. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but they'll give you $50. In the beginning, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, refer somebody and everybody gets $50. But it's a lot more complicated than that. So I've kind of stopped pumping it, even though I think there are people who would be interested in being referred. At this point, I think people should just go over there, and if they want to jump on and teach, they should teach and not worry about the 50 for 50. I probably referred 30 or 40 people over there and had one one or two people who actually got us the $50 referral payment. And so I don't know if it's really worth the work. Sean says, comment on his YouTube video. Not sure if he checks his emails. Never replied to my email in 3 weeks, but he replied within hours to YouTube comment. WP Eagle, I am going to do that. I am going to go over there right now. And after I get off the stream, and I'll say, hey, Alex, I reported up, you know, maybe I should look for a video that doesn't have very many comments so he's more likely to see it so it doesn't get lost in there. Denise says, it's all good. I'll test it out. Oh, I had no idea about 1 video per week, but that's probably a good pace. So it's not necessarily 1 video, it's 1 course. And you can have your course broken down into all different kinds of videos, like 2 to 3 minutes or whatever. Just remember that the minimum amount is only 10 minutes. In, you know, some people will post like a whole 6-hour course and some people will post 10 minutes or half an hour, 20 minutes. I think you'll have to see, test out whether or not putting a 6-hour course actually brings people in, because I think some people will look at that and be like, oh, that is like something I'm going to do later, versus something that is 20 minutes. People are more likely to click on it now and then watch it and help you accrue those per minute payments of 5 cents or 6 cents or 7 cents at a time. So you have to test it, because, you know, if you do have a 6-hour video up there, that's 360 minutes. And if you have one person who commits to sitting down and watching the whole thing, I mean, you actually earn quite a bit of revenue from that one thing versus what you might get from somebody sitting down and watching a 10-minute video. So something to test out. Well, that is the 1-hour mark. I wish I had an outro like Pat Flynn does so I could jump around and be like, hey, this is the end of the stream, whatever. By the way, I am loving what Pat Flynn is doing over on his channel. And if you're not catching any parts of his live streams, you should. All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Later.